Hey Google, restart video.
Hey everyone, Scott Innes, voice actor, Hollywood actor, movie star. Don't believe all that. I'm a legend in my own mind. Hey, you know me better as the voice of some of the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scrappy-Dappy-Doo, Puppy Power, Black and Shaggy too. And you've got the Sullivan Project podcast coming at you right now.
Hey Google, stop. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. I'm your host, Earl Sullivan. Hey Google, turn your volume to 50%. That's how I've been telling time. Hey Google, stop. Taking notes and everything since I've been blind the last 3 years, in case y'all haven't tuned in before. But the technology, it doesn't work right a lot of the times. Like it was playing after I said stop. You know, a lot of times I have the other one, Alexa, they all interact together. And one will be talking, the other one will answer it. It's crazy. Sometimes you talk to one and the other one answers, and they're different devices. But it's been helping me get by. You know, I've discovered podcasts, started the podcast, listened to hundreds of audio books, and hey, you know what I mean? That's what this podcast is about. How do you make it from 1 second to the next? Or whenever you think you can't make it, or things are so bad, or this and that, or you're just confused, you know. Everyone has a story, and you can't judge a book by its cover. And if you want to be on, we like to hear stories. You know, your pain is your strength, not your weakness. So come on, audio or video. You can be a guest. You can call the show 724-513-1472. You can email hs19782015 at outlook.com. And you can hit us up on social media, and that would be Harold Sullivan 78 on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78 TikTok, and Harold Sullivan period 35 Facebook. That's where you can find most of the posts. The shorter ones can go on TikTok, but they don't do but over so many minutes. So Facebook and YouTube has the majority. And we've had celebrity cameos too. A few from Supernatural. We've had Montel Jordan. We've had Tommy Chong on there. Some wrestlers, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley. Mick Foley's done a trailer for me. I appreciate that. And I'm a little bit of body pain here, the arthritis. I was born with an autoimmune disease, and I haven't been able to walk since I was around 9 or 10. And I've been in a power wheelchair since then. Had so many surgeries, neck surgery. I was in a body cast when I was young. But our testimony is what we got. We're here to go. You know, it happens for you, not to you. And so if you take everything like dragging you down, then you're not going to live comfortably and happy inside. So you got to do well. It takes a lot of work, and I've been doing it since, I've been blind. I was doing it before that. I just didn't know what to do. And now I just want to help people. If anybody hears something that that helps them, I'm there, right? That's what we can do. People say you can't do nothing. You can always do something. If it's just answering the phone for your friend, or being there for somebody. You have no idea how little tiny choices and little things you do affect everything, and can make someone's life better or worse. So I also like to say fight fire with water. That's a Sullyism I've come up with. And I've been writing those, and I got a book I'm trying to write, and my sister helps me on the computer. She has work and stuff she does, so she helps me when she can, and I appreciate everything, because we're all getting by, but it's not just us. It's all as one. We don't get by on our own. You get by of years of everybody else doing things to help or not help, and just everything affects everything, like I said. So, but I got some movie reviews here, and then X-Files season 10, the newest one that came out a few years before the pandemic. I've been going, I get these on Google Play, movies and TV shows and stuff. Then I listen to them, because I can't see them anymore. So Ghostbusters, the new one, I finally got to check that out. Ghostbusters 4, I guess, or Frozen Empire. I was not happy with it. I was Wasn't disappointed because it's number 4. They should have just stopped at the third one though, because it was kind of a complete story almost. Now they're just doing the same thing, in my opinion. Spoilers. They just find a big bad monster and then they try to stop it with more and more, extravagant stuff, and it just didn't have heart. It just to me it didn't have. I mean, Venkman only Bill Murray had maybe one or two lines in the whole movie. Uh, all of a sudden, they made my buddy uh, uh, I'm getting a broken brain thing here. Who played? We've had him on the podcast. Ernie Hudson, and he was in The Crow, Ghostbusters, and he was in the remake of Quantum Leap, which didn't do too good. And I'm a huge fan of the original Quantum Leap. But Ernie Hudson was almost the main star of the new one, which I like. But he kind of took on the Egon character. And he didn't, he's real scientific and smart now, and that just wasn't the character of the past. It's like they gave him all the words, and Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray basically didn't get much. But it was still, Ghostbusters. I'd give it probably like a 6, and not very good out of 10. Probably the worst out of the 4, and I'd put it with the women, the one with the women, the remake that had all the women playing the main characters. So then we have Big George Foreman. That's actually a boxing movie. Pretty good, and it ranged all the way from his childhood up till he retired. Spoilers: I didn't know he became a pastor and found God and all that. That's kind of why he wanted to quit, but then he needed money and whatnot, and figure out a way to do it without, wanting to hurt people. They're using a different fire, which I guess that's the whole motivation, or the whole point of the story and the motivation. But very good. The actors sounded like him throughout the ages. I couldn't see, but again, they sounded like the people. They even had Ali and of course other fighters in there, and I believe Howard Cosell type characters, and it would put you right in there. So I enjoyed that one. I'd probably see. I'd probably do that about 7, 7 out of 10, 7.5, something like that. And then we have what was the other one? Hey Ziggy, what are my stickies? I got a Ziggy now too. It's the A word, but I call it Ziggy. Hey Ziggy, what are my stickies?
I found 4 notes. First note, best dance, best comedy, best fight back. Second note, Big George Ghostbusters, Iron Claw Bible Bulls Dynasty.
Ziggy, stop. Okay, then the Iron Claws is about the Van Eriks movie. Zac Efron's in it. I couldn't really tell which one was him because I can't see it again. But the acting's, they sounded pretty good. It was a good story. There's actually a book called The Iron Claw. I haven't been able to find the audio version yet on Audible or Google. But it's about the history, and they say there's a curse on the Van Eriks, and they had to cram all that in there and make it a good story, and it's decent too. I'd probably say about a 7 for that, 7.5 for the George Foreman. So they're both pretty decent, and Ghostbusters not so much. And then the Bible, I just started the 14th time through the audio Bible in less than 3 years, about 35 months. So I just listened to it from beginning to end, an hour or so every day. I started, and then the next day pick up where I'm at. So, and then we're going to talk about the Bulls dynasty a little bit here. Let's see here. I got some audio books. Okay, I just finished. We got 11 Rings by it's about Phil Jackson, the coach. Also, the last season, which is about his last season with the Lakers, but then he came back with the Lakers years later. And then these are all audio and they're in print too. And then we have a couple by Michael Jordan, Playing for Keeps, and then one I listened to a while back was Michael Jordan The Life. And then you have one by Scottie Pippen. He just came out with called Unguarded recently, and that was he was basically talking a lot of crap on Jordan and stuff. I don't appreciate all that. They won together. They had to. You know what I mean? Can you believe Will Perdue was traded for Rodman from the Bulls, and Rodman won 3 titles with the Bulls. After that, and that's because Phil Jackson was able to take all these talents and these personalities and people from different places, talk about one of the best coaches, if not the best coach, and make it work with all these people. And the Bulls didn't win until Rodman got there. The Bulls traded up to get Pippen at a number 5 pick, and Pippen was a walk-on in college and didn't have the money. But a couple of scholarships got, something happened and he got it. Same with Rodman. He was supposed to be second round. He got drafted by Detroit early. They traded up and got him, and he helped them out. They were bad, the bad boys they called them. And then he went to San Antonio, and they almost wanted him and Tim Duncan, but then he was partying and doing his thing. Phil Jackson figured out to let him do that once in a while to vent. He had ADD or ADHD or whatever those things are. So it's very important. People have things, and you got to figure out how to help them become the best, but not do it in a damaging way. Like a lot of coaches yell and scream. Phil Jackson was called the Zen Master because he believed in meditating, calming people down, find out what makes them happy, let them have their time, but you know, nourish them so they'll want to compete on the court and do their job as well. Don't degrade them, bring them up. You know, and yeah, they won 72-10 that season. I used to check out all the Bulls games on what was it, the WGN or something. I forget what channel it was, and they'd be on. So one season they were down. I remember they were down by 25 points in the game and came back and won. And then I actually video recorded on old VHSs the last couple of games Jordan played. I don't have them anymore because I knew he was going to retire, and then he hit that one shot against Russell. And it's like Jordan, they're down by one. Jordan gets the ball. I think he made a shot, or he might have passed it and then scored. And then when he came back down, he stole the ball from Malone, came around behind him. Everybody was surprised. And then Jordan just went down, dribbled the ball. About 5 seconds left, took the shot, and then won the game with his last against the Bulls, his last game. But they, without management, without all the players, without Phil Jackson, none of that would have worked. And then when you go to the top guys, they want to take all the credit too, Ransdorf and Krause, and they even told Phil Jackson the last season, '98 with the Bulls, that you could go 82-0, and we still won't rehire you. We're breaking up the team, you know. And Jordan didn't get paid till his last couple of years. He got paid 30, 33, 35 million or something. Before that, he was on like $2 million a year contract. Pippen was making like the 125th most money in the league, which is terrible. And so they figured out ways to get them guys in there, but the management, but they did it. And they got 6 titles. Jordan retired in the middle because he wanted to try baseball, and his father had got murdered. And they still, that's still a tragedy. And they just said it was a robbery, you know. But they need to do a show on Jordan, Icons Unearthed, or maybe 9 Lives of, because because he went through a lot. And all they talk about is him playing basketball. So, but they were my favorite team for years. We didn't have any in Pittsburgh. We don't have a team. So the Bulls was it. But so I want to talk about Jordan there a little bit. I can always talk about Jordan, Rodman, Pippen. Rodman was the best rebounder, one of the best defenders in my opinion. Pippen was right up there with Jordan, right next to him. It just wasn't Jordan, and you just can't be. Not everybody can be everybody. There will never be another Jordan. There won't be another Kobe. There won't be another LeBron. Everybody's individual. There won't be another Wilt. There won't be another George Mikan. He never got credit. He was a 7-foot-something white Caucasian guy who played with the Minneapolis Lakers before Wilt, and his name was George Mikan, and he was a real big. I think he's number 99, real big, tall dude, wore goggles, dark hair. So he was the Wilt before Wilt. There's always somebody, and they're all great. So let's talk about the X-Files, season 10, and this is I'm actually going back to the first seasons and going through them in somewhat of an order, but I got season 10 first because there's only 10 episodes. I guess they wanted to see what it would do, or it was just a part-time thing, but they never picked up season 11. And originally I had stopped watching it back whenever Duchovny and Gillian Anderson left and Robert Patrick was on there, I believe. And I just couldn't do it after that. But I was a huge fan before that, just like with Supernatural and Unsolved Mysteries and Quantum Leap, MacGyver, all that good stuff. So yeah, so the first episode, the main theme of it is aliens again, of course, but then there's a pandemic unleashed, which they were always kind of predicting or doing things ahead of time with X Files that actually did happen, you know, and it was tried. They tried to set it in what could be happen, what could happen, and have it reality, but then you had the other spooky stuff in there. So yeah, so it's aliens, and then was it Mulder and Scully's son who's missing, who was an implant of an alien in her, and he's like 17 now or something. So the first episode is about that, and I'm catching up on that. Then the second one is kind of was it artificial intelligence or something? It was killing people, just very odd. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, alien machine twins, alternate universe species.
Hey
Fear
Google,
death.
stop. And then there's some twins in there that can kill people. I think they're playing like a game. But they're adult twins and they're in a mental ward. One of them is and one isn't. And they're using telepathy and and they're killing people. In the meantime, there's a pandemic that's going to be released, an alien breed, crossbreed. And Scully thinks to her son, if they can find him because he's part alien, he is the answer to save everybody. But he's gone and he's hidden, he's adopted, and they don't know how to find him. So, and then you have an alternate reality episode, which is weird. There's a guy who claims that he was part of the X Files, and Mulder and Scully never, they don't know him, but he's saying that they were a trio, and that the government's controlling minds and making people forget stuff. So they have some episodes in there that's a little bit different. And then let's see, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, alien machine twins, alternate universe species. Fear death.
Hey Google, stop. And then they bring in the boy, uh, and he's kind of like they find out where he is because he kills somebody by accident. He can control people's minds and make them see different things. Uh, so he kills some kids by accident playing a game, or they actually kill themselves. And then so he gets found, and the government tries to get him, but he just goes through them and just murders all of them. And so they're trying to catch him now. Scully and Mulder are right on his trail. And then there's some kind of gas. They bring in an old friend of Skinner's, who he was in the army with or whatever in the military, and breathed in some kind of gas that makes him go crazy and see monsters. And so this dude's been locked up for years, and now he gets out, and there's a monster killing people. So that involves him and then Skinner coming. So you get a little bit of a backstory on him finally in season 10. He's like he helps out. He's like the director above Mulder and Scully. And then, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, alien machine twins, alternate universe species. Fear death. Second, AI witch organs aliens.
Hey Google, stop. Oh, actually, that's where the AI comes in. Earlier, the other one with the machine was like just it was like yeah, like machines taking over and killing people. It was it's weird. All their stories have they kind of end where you don't know if it really happened or it didn't, and there's really nothing to prove. You know, uh, it kind of leaves you like, okay, there's a possibility of one or the other. But yeah, there's the AI comes in later on at the end of season 10, and then there's a witch lady who was cutting out people's organs or something. And there's hellhounds. They actually mentioned hellhounds and different things from Supernatural. And Supernatural actually, this was still going on when it was at the end of it, whenever the X Files season 10 came out. So, and then what else? We have the aliens come back at the end again, where the son, they find him, and this whole thing happens, and he kind of helps save humanity, but it's not for long. And then he disappears, but then it's like, okay, he's still out there. You think he might be dead, but he's not really dead. So, I mean, pretty good 10 episodes of X Files season 10. I don't know about what the rating I'd do, probably a 6 out of 10, because there's other seasons that were way better, especially the first one. I'm going back and listening to that now, and I've gone through 5 or 6 episodes of season 1 of X-Files. I also want to talk a little bit about experiences that I've had, and this is recently, but this is before. This is since I lost my sight, but before I just started, getting back into the X-Files and all that again. So it doesn't correlate with that, or maybe it does. I'm just getting into the things again. But I started seeing after I lost my sight and it was dark. I started seeing like a ball of light, an orb, I'd call it, or maybe an angel, fairy, I don't know, something on a different thing, leaving my body at like 3 or 4 in the morning or flying towards me. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and just see it. And then I went to one day, and the best way I could describe it was this little, maybe 6 to 8 inch, looked like a chalkboard eraser that they used to erase at school with, on its side, and it was dark black, almost like an ice cream sandwich if you had it flat where you could see the white ice cream part, but this was black, uh, and about that size and shape. And it had a little light on top, just a little light that was lit up, but the rest of it was dark. And it was going from left to right in my view, and it just disappeared up into the wall. Then I started seeing images of like all different kinds of radar things and draw like languages in my third eye, but I can see them with my eyes open too. So it's not just in there. Then I've had other things here which I believe have to do with aliens, and I never dreamt of an alien in my life before that, or UFOs, none of that, for 45 years, or more than 45 years. Uh, I saw, I best describe as Men in Black or stuff in black over me a few times. Hasn't happened in a while though, but there was at least 3 or 4 of them. But one time it looked like they had hats or a hood on, but they were blacker than black. There was 3 or 4 of them standing over me. I don't know what they are. If it has anything to do with anything, these can't be all dreams though. You know what I mean? And then I had where I could hear medical equipment like laying right next to me, and I was awake in the bed, or thought I was. I could hear like not like medical equipment, metal stuff being moved around on it, like utensils right next to me. And I've been through surgeries when I was younger and lots of hospitals, so I know what that sound is. And then I heard a buzz, and then I woke up out of it. So there's something to do with a buzz, and there's electronics. I've had that happen a few times where I snapped out of something with a buzz sound. Okay, I've even heard stuff come through the speakers and stuff, the Google and the audio or Alexa's and voices, sounds, and just you know. Well, and then I felt one time like something was touching me, but it wasn't like a real physical. It was like a touch, but it was more like an energy, but cool, but soft, but not physical on my arm. And I knew it was something, even an angel or an alien. I don't know, something like that. And I'm trying to remember all these things that had to do with this. When I was younger, I used to see what I thought were little particles of like rain or diamonds that would come down and kind of just be there hovering in a glob of stuff, and almost like a looked like a shape or something. But that was when I was real young, and then it went away. And then again, the most recent thing a few months back here uh, was this is I believe it was a real thing that happened. I was either going down or coming back. Okay, but whenever I'm in these dreams or having these visions, I don't see myself. I'm just there, and it's my soul or energy, but I can feel everything and look all around, and it's like a conscience. But anyway, I was either going up or coming back down, and I remember I was in this thing that was spinning like a cup, like an energy vortex, and I had that buzzing sound, and it was cool, and it just felt like I was like out, and it was bluish lights and stuff, and it was just me looking around. But then when I look down, I see the little guy, like just like in the movies, Alien. He was either blue or green looking because the lights were blue, so it looked kind of like his skin was bluish. He had the big eyes, just like in the movie, 3 or 4 feet tall, and he was just there. And then I woke up after I heard that buzzing sound. I was like, bzz. I woke up back in the bed, and I was like, wow. And I never had anything like that since or before, but I believe it was going up or coming down. I woke up out of it, or I remembered when I wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean? And maybe a year or so ago or more, I actually had an incident where I had to call my sister first, and my brother-in-law second, because I was laying in the bed and it was raining out, and I felt water drip down my forehead like a leak in my bedroom. and I could have sworn that it was there and there was water, and I didn't want to be. I got electronics in the bed. My bed's a hospital bed that goes up and down. I don't want to get fried. But I called her, and there was no water in, and my brother-in-law even came and looked. There was no wetness, but it was like I had went outside and got rained on out of body and felt it. And when I woke back up, I could feel the water dripping down my face and my ear, but there was nothing there. And that was before this visit or going up in this energy or coming down in this energy. So hey, leave it up to everybody. I have nothing to gain by saying this. It's kind of crazy, but the truth is out there. And if anybody's had anything like this, let me know, please, because I want to know. Does that have something to do with buzzing? Buzzing wakes you up or knocks you out, or I mean, I don't know, but there's a buzz in there. It's like a buzz. And I've always heard things like they call angel radio and supernatural, where I'll hear frequencies or I'll have ears pop in and out you can't hear. And there's a reason for all these things. They're not medical conditions. So, love's a choice and so is the hate. We'll be back soon. Same bad time, same bad channel.